he's going to be notably driving the RB7.
Yeah,
So
which is
again,
going to be amazing that he can get behind the wheel of a Formula One car. I think that's so phenomenal. He had his outing in 2005 at the Australian GP, most notably in the 2005 season. He kind of became someone who was known as his technical driver. He's a driver coach now, has been at the Red Bull Ring, and we are talking about Patrick Freisacher from Austria. So super cool to have him on board. You can see Christopher Pavoldi there. He's a guy who's new in the Red Bull colors. It's nice to welcome him to the crew.
Yeah, him, and alongside, we had those words with Mia Chapman. She's a proud French Bulldog mom, but she is a weapon. She's a Bulldog behind the wheel as well. She might be all sweet and dainty, but she will take you out. She did really well at King of the Hammers, coming off a mid 400. We racing, and of course, Red Bull. Send it! Patrick. Freisacher in this RB7. And last night, driving with some Red Bull execs, they say Patrick is probably the second best. I won't name names, but they say he's the second best to put on a demo. Another former Formula One driver. Absolutely, again, make some noise for him, Phoenix! Send it, baby! Yeah! You know what's crazy too, Katie, is there was years ago, here in downtown Phoenix. Did you know that?
That's a fun fact I did not. Wait, really?
Yeah,
This is where we get started. I had no idea. I know I'm from Indianapolis, so I'm very familiar with the Indy races. Of course, Austin, Vegas, Miami now. That's a real good fun fact. Thanks, Jared.
Yep, there was an F1 race many moons ago.
RB7 had actually 19, not this one in particular. 19 victories, 18 out of 19 pole positions, 27 podiums, a Constructors Champion due to its performance, consistency, and design innovation. So super cool to see it out in the street. Super cool to hear it, Jerry.
Yeah, the aero, and you can see just the evolution of the vehicles. If you put them side by side, you're like, all right, they all kind of look the same. No, there's different aero, there's different, like, you know, they call them the bats. Basically, the bat is the suspension, how it's created aero. You look at the suspension arms, every bit is intentional on the car. We're standing over in the paddock area as the RB7 is out there, that Red Bull Oracle Ford Racing RB7. So it's again, the technology. Those things could basically, like, if you had enough speed and had a tunnel, it could basically get stuck with the downforce to the roof of a wind tunnel.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
How do you do with G-force?
I'm out. I'm a big hunk of meat, man. I can't fit in that thing, first of all. But when it comes to G-forces, right? Like if you're
I'm thinking about like a fair ride, right? Where you get some G-force. I'm talking about the swings, you know, that spaceship ride. Not for me. I cannot believe the G-forces that that these drivers withstand, the neck strength that they have to be able to withstand the performance of these vehicles. I want to give another nod to Patrick here.
Listen to that symphony, baby. Off of Sun Stadium, I'm sure the Gorilla would approve. And obviously, you know, Chase Field and the D-backs, you know, their season's about to kick off. Spring training going down. This is so cool. Historic vehicle in a historic backdrop here in the Valley. So pumped.
And to go back to Patrick there, we mentioned earlier he was in the 2005 Australian Grand Prix, half the season stint there in F1 with Minardi in 2005. But this was a fun fact that I learned about him, is at one point he became Red Bull Racing's longest serving affiliated driver, instructor at Red Bull Ring. And I thought that was really fascinating because even though it was a shorter stint within F1, A, he's still a Formula One driver, but B, he was able to provide the technical feedback to continue long-standing serving Red Bull and the Red Bull's racing team and program with his knowledge and insight.
It just goes to show you the loyalty. I mean, look at, we had Yuki Tsunoda in San Francisco. I know he's out there supporting in China. You know, previous years, obviously Danny Rick, one of the most popular ones. He surrounded, you know, Daniel Ricciardo, he rocked the number 3 because he was doing, even though he's Australian, he definitely loves Americana. Talking about Daniel Ricciardo, he's still in the Ford Racing camp. And then Yuki Tsunoda had so much fun, but that's what Red Bull is. Not just for Formula One, but motorsports across the globe. Yeah, obviously Formula One, the pinnacle of motorsports, but you see what they've done in side-by-sides, in trucks, and truck racing, all the different things. And like I said, from the Mach-E to Mach-E 1400, the Lightning, you know, Romain Dumas winning and holding the current Pikes Peak Hill Climb record. This is just all a testimonial to Ford and Red Bull committing themselves to motorsports, because that's really what, you know, some people say, hey, when did racing start? When they built the second Ford, right? Henry Ford built one car, and they started racing them as soon as they built the second one. That's when racing began. All right, Patrick, looks like the checkered flags are out. Everybody wins. You win. Make some noise for the RB7